Good evening. People living in a neighborhood in Nanaimo say they are relieved tonight after learning a transition house will not be moving in. The John Howard Society was proposing a transition house for men recovering from substance abuse on Lambert Street in Harewood. The plans came as a surprise to people who live on the street and to a daycare operating just a few doors down. Jonathan Bartlett is following the story. He joins us from our Nanaimo bureau tonight. Jonathan?
Eric, a flyer delivered in people's mailboxes was the first indication that the John Howard Society was interested in a rental home on Lambert Street. When parents choose a daycare, there's certain things they take into account before dropping their children off.
They need to trust the caregiver, especially if it's a first-time parent that's going out into the community looking for childcare.
And trust includes ensuring the location of the daycare is safe.
And this is a good neighborhood. They're good people here.
So when a letter arrived this week from the John Howard Society asking for public input on plans for a transition house at this location, it took many by surprise. The plan was to house 4 to 5 men recovering from substance abuse. But at a meeting on Tuesday night with neighbors, the plan was met with opposition.
I wasn't very happy about it. Our property value would probably go down, and and then be probably, you never know if there'd be B&Es or anything like that.
For me, it's a hard decision because I want to be supportive of that program, but there's just too much of the unknown.
No one from the John Howard Society was available to go on camera today, but they tell me by phone that they've decided to pull out of this location for a transition house. But the question now is, where will the transition house be welcome?
In some ways, it's unfortunate that because we'd like to provide opportunities for people who want to change, to move away from addiction lifestyle into a more healthy lifestyle.
John Horn, a social planner for the city of Nanaimo, says community consultation is a two-edged sword.
It's respectful, but it puts them in a tough spot because they're not always going to get unanimous support. And so it's difficult for them to both ask for support and then have to continue looking around the city for a new site every couple of weeks.
Horn says the men who'd stay at the transition house would be carefully monitored, and neighbors have no reason to be fearful. And that message was clear at the meeting Tuesday night.
Our experience with these transitional housing programs, particularly with the ones run by John Howard, is that they're very well run. There hasn't been any problems whatsoever. But perception is as important as reality in many cases.
The John Howard Society says it will continue to look for another location and continue to consult with the community. And the John Howard Society runs 3 other drug transition houses in Nanaimo. In 2004, they had to pull back from plans to set up a transition house on Cormorant Avenue because of concerns by neighbors. Eric?
Jonathan Bartlett in Nanaimo. Thank you, Jonathan.
You're welcome.